Hello, welcome. Today we're going to do a parenting edition mukbang. So a long time ago, I think probably back in November, oopsie, asked you guys for questions concerning like our parenting, how it's gone, things like that. And I think I found most of them, but I might not be answering all of them, but we'll try to answer a few while we are eating this soup. This is fishball soup. Well, mostly fishball soup, but looks good.
Homemade.
All right, so first, let's eat. Okay, just FYI, Miko is sleeping. He's taking a nap, so that's why we're doing this now. And then after this, we're going to do like a one-take vlog, just because I've been a really lousy vlogger this weekend. We had a lot of things happen, which we'll talk about later, but let's go ahead with the questions. Okay, the first one, I'm not really sure exactly what they mean, but it says, did you get separation anxiety when the baby was born? I don't know what that means, like me separating from the
Yeah,
baby?
right. I think it means, if you're separate from the baby, to
I'm
get
not pregnant
anxious.
anymore.
Or it could mean like if somebody took the baby, like, if you're physically separate.
Can you give me a wipe, please? Sue, it's messy.
I love to wipe you up.
Yeah, that's what Miko does. Okay, I would say no, don't really, like, I don't focus on separation anxiety, if that's what you mean. I mean, do I miss being pregnant? Yes, I do a lot. I mean, obviously, I love having my baby, but, after 41 weeks pregnancy, you don't want to be pregnant anymore. But um, if, like, she was holding the baby or, like, when her mom came and helped out, I think it was when he was 2 weeks old or when your mom came.
Around 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, so around 2 to 3 weeks old, her mom came, and no, it didn't really cause me anxiety if somebody else was holding the baby. I was so stressed, and with breastfeeding and all these other things we had to do, I was a hot mess. So, no. However, later, when I actually had to go back to work, just temporarily, yes, I did get nervous about leaving him, even with her. I mean, I know she's a great mom and everything, but yes, of course, it's normal to get anxious. The first time I had to drop him off the babysitter that wasn't her, or, one of the grandparents, I was just crying and anxious, and it was kind of bad. But what about you? I mean, same thing, but when you go back to work.
It wasn't, it wasn't that it wasn't easy when I went back to work, because I had a month off, so it was a good long time, being with them. But going back to work, yeah, I did feel that separation and like I was missing out. But still, I mean, I trust her to take care of him throughout the day, and it was fine. It was more just me feeling disconnected from what was going on at home while I had to work all day. So I think that's more what it was a challenge, but I didn't specifically get anxiety or just miss them.
Yeah, I got nervous when she had to leave, but then, I figured it out and we kind of got into a rhythm, and stuff like that. And we could go out and I could take care of the baby and it all worked out. I mean, I'm not perfect, not in the least. I still have a lot of issues and problems, but that's okay. So that's that question. Next. The question says, was it hard to pick the baby's last name? Whose last name does he have, if not both? Well, the answer to that is when we got married, she took my last name. So we have the same last name, so meaning Miko has my last name. So all three of us have the same last name. Yeah, I mean, I think if we had different names, I mean, if I didn't take your name, maybe we could hyphen. Well, no, that would be too long. Probably, I mean, just what I think I would say is if we didn't have the same last name, in which some couples are married and don't, I probably would give him her last name just because, if I gave birth to him, I have that attachment, and then she could have, the last name, which, like I said, I mean, I love my family. They're great, but, I don't really care. I'm not attached to my last name. I don't care at all what my last name is, at all. Honestly, I don't even care about my first name. I mean, I'm not like attached to Jill. I mean, I'm not going to change it, but I don't hate it. But it's just whatever. So it was pretty easy to just put that's the last name.
Yeah, it just worked out that way that we all have the same last name.
But I mean, if you as a family are going to have a baby soon, you don't have the same last name, you can pick one, you can pick the other, you can hyphenate, you can, I guess, yeah, maybe combine them together, and then maybe all three of you could pick a last name together, or it could be different. It's totally up to you. Okay. That one is not about parenting, but is asking how long we have been dating. Well, we've been married, but we started dating around, I think, 10 years or 11 years ago. Something like that. I don't know. I can't do math.
Well, because I know we started dating in 2008.
So about 11 years.
So, yeah, I mean, I know we had dated at least for a year before we got married in 2010, so it had to have been like 2008, maybe the fall.
Yeah, we've been married almost 11 years now. 10 years? 10
We've been
years.
married
Wait, 8?
9.
9? I can't math. We've been married since 2010. Then it's 2019, so yeah, it'll be 9 years soon. She still loves me. I don't know. You can ask me, but I'll answer.
Okay, question is for her. It says, Jill, do you choose to sign with Miko only, or do you both sign and speak with him?
Well, most of the time I take care of Miko during the day. So I see him the most. So just FYI. So I'm technically his language role model. And for me, I would say mostly I sign with him. In the beginning, I signed, and then I kind of strayed more into speaking a little bit more with him, and now I'm focused more on signing with him. So I would say most of the time, if it's just the two of us or with her, I'm signing. Every once in a while, I will speak words with him. And I do speak in front of him because, I talk with my mom like every single day on the phone, sometimes multiple times a day, and I speak to her because she doesn't understand sign language. And so I speak on the phone. And so he can hear me speaking quite a bit. Sometimes when we're out in public, I'll be speaking to him, but typically I will sign as well. At that time, I will SimCom. But I would say most of the time I'm signing without voice with him just to try and really emphasize the sign language part because, out in the world and with family and stuff, he gets a lot of exposure to English, but sign language not as much. So I'm trying to provide that for him. So I mostly sign with him. But again, that's just me and him. And if your family is different, I don't want you to think that, this is the only way and you need to do what I do. Again, just FYI. But mostly I sign with him. I would say 70-30, maybe, something like that. Something like that. More sign than voice, though. What do you do? She talks. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. It says, what type of educational system are you choosing for Miko? Well, right now he's 1, so nothing. He's too young. However,
Well, I would say right now it's more informal. Just at home, we try to teach him things through sign language like colors and shapes and, what are things like vocabulary and language. So right now we're just trying to teach him some language. We encourage him to, do critical thinking, trying to put things together, pull things apart, put this in there, giving things back and forth, that type of thing. A little bit of, I guess, like physical education, and that we let him climb up his little pickler triangle, and we encourage him to, use his physical body and move and work on his coordination. So that's pretty much what we encourage right now. But in the future, educational wise, we're pretty highly likely to homeschool him, just because we prefer to, I guess I want to make sure the education fits what his strengths or what his weaknesses are, to match what his, like, more custom, maybe learn what he should learn, because at least in my personal experience, I had a lot of issues with public school system in that they have to follow the state curriculum, or often they have, especially English is fine. I think that's good, but I don't know, there's some like science or especially within history that they cover things up or there's only one perspective given. And I really don't like that. I want to make sure that he has multiple perspectives. And I feel that most curriculums, especially like Common Core, just don't do that. And at least that was my experience growing up. I didn't learn a lot of things until much later. And I don't want that for him. I want him to learn things from all perspectives of history. I think that was one of my biggest things. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think, like I said, we'll be homeschooling most likely. Again, in the area that we moved to, they're not the best schooling systems. So, I mean, if we wanted to put them in school, it'd have to be a private school and they're expensive. So, I mean, that might be something in the future. If we ever get a better financial situation and we can afford them, we might put them into school if we like it. If we have the money and we find something that I like, I would put them in there. But for now, I think probably we're going to focus on homeschooling with a lot of emphasis on socialization with other kids, maybe an after school type of programs or sports or, other things like that, maybe non sport related.
Yeah, a good homeschool
Yeah,
co op.
definitely get involved in a co op. I know a few other homeschooling families in the area, so maybe. We could do something about that. But for right now, he's too young, so I don't know. We will see what the future holds. If we're still on YouTube, we will show you. Okay. It says, what is the best thing about you guys being parents to Miko? It says, we are such amazing and awesome parents. Well, thank you. What's the best thing about being a parent with Miko?
Um, I don't know, I guess just having that bond with a child, like with Miko. I mean, seeing him from birth and how he's growing up and how he's developing his personality, just experiencing that. You can't compare it to anything else, really.
Yeah, I would say for me, being a parent is very challenging. However, there's so much reward too. Like she said, watching him grow up and seeing him try new things and succeeding, or even, not succeeding. Everything's fine. Just everything you do, you see him like thinking about it. And then, we're helping to raise him, hopefully, and teach him to be a good person. And I don't know. It's really hard to explain how awesome it is being a parent. And again, it is definitely a challenge. Very, very challenging and hard sometimes. And we have a lot of difficulties, but at the same time, in the end, there's your kid and you watch him smile and you hug him and just seeing him grow up is just powerful. Really is. You can't know what that means until you have a kid yourself. I mean, you don't have to birth the child yourself, but you know what I mean, taking care of a child. I don't know, it's cool. Yeah.
Okay, the question is, have you found that the community of queer deaf parents is small or large in Rochester? Um, I would say kind of at the same time, it's big yet it's small. Um, and I think for us, I'm very lucky that I just happen to work with a lot of queer people, just in general. Just around me, there's quite a few. So I think some of them do have kids, and so we're able to work together and bond in that sense. Um, and so we have a lot of connections. But if I think in the larger picture, it's actually still a pretty small community within Rochester. I mean, I think that's pretty common to most places, but I kind of like that just because I think it's a good size. There's not so many people that I don't know everybody, but it's small enough that I can actually make relationships and we can support each other and get to know each other. And so I think that that's really nice that there's that small community and kind of tight knit feel to it, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think that it's small, but there's enough that Miko's not going to feel, I want to say alone, but I mean, he'll have a lot of friends that will have either two moms or two dads, or could be a queer parent, transgender, not autistic. Gosh, sometimes I get my signs mixed up. Transgender parent, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Gender fluid parent, or anything like that. I think he's gonna have a lot of exposure to that, so more than normal. And I really like that, but it's still small enough, that it's not normal to be queer yet. But you just wait. We'll see about that. Okay. Last question for today, I think is can I keep it short, is how do the two of you juggle your jobs while being a parent at the same time?
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. Um, for me, it's kind of weird because I almost feel like a half stay at home mom and half not because I only work in the evenings and sometimes on the weekends as well. Sorry about the lighting. It's getting really dark now. Anyways, I'll fix it later. No, I'll figure it out. But for me, I stay at home probably gonna say most of the time, all day until about 5 to 6 somewhere in there, and then I will work, like I said, anywhere from up until 10 or midnight, just depending on the night. And hopefully soon I'll be changing my schedule. I'll just be working Tuesday through Friday, still in the evenings, but every once in a while I'll work on the weekend, but again, not too much. So I'm here during the day, so I feel kind of like a stay-at-home mom, trying to take care of him and do everything in the house and take care of all of that. Plus, then I have to go to work, and honestly, it's really hard, and I hate leaving him for work. I really, really want to stay at home all the way, but it's just not something feasible right now, which is fine. But at the same time, it would be nice. Sometimes it's good to go to work and get an interaction with adults. I mean, just kind of be myself and not have to be a parent in that sense. I know some people go, "Oh, you don't want to, be with your kid all the time," but I do. But at the same time, I need a break, and just it's nice to have adult conversation, not only with her. I mean, I love her, but it's good to be with other people as well. But it's really hard to try and figure out how to figure out a work schedule because that's definitely impacted our relationship because I'm gone most evenings. I don't get to see her as much. I mean, luckily I don't work the whole weekends, which is nice, but at the same time it's hard trying to figure that out. And then I have to, okay, get him, take her, pick her up, drop him off. And I'm sure for you it's very different because you work during the day.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge because, like I said, I work during the day. So I work all day and then I usually get done a little bit early, about 4 o'clock. She picks me up from work. And then, so after that, I'm working all day and then I head home. She heads off. So then I'm responsible for Miko for the rest of the night. And so I have to take care of him, do all of that, finally put him to sleep. And then, I try to get as much time as I can with him, which isn't much, but finally I put him to sleep and then I have to, take care of the rest of whatever I need to do. Sometimes I save my dinner until after he goes to sleep just because I'm doing so much with him and I don't have time to eat. And um, so once he's down, I'll kind of clean up or eat or, I need to do errands and things that I need to do around the house, just nightly things you have to do. And then sometimes I try to go to sleep early because then I have to wake up early and you won't get enough sleep and, just time. I'm like, oh, screw it. So, and then, usually on the weekend I'll try to catch up on my sleep if I can.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. It's really hard being a working and being a parent and getting enough sleep because, like I said, she works early and I have to wake up early too because Miko tends to wake up anywhere from 5 to 6 in the morning. So if I'm working until, 11 o'clock or midnight, then I get home. I'll usually get 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep, so which that makes it really hard. And, everything she has to do too, she doesn't get enough sleep. So I think that's one of the biggest challenge right now. But again, we're working towards hopefully in the future I will be able to stay at home or just maybe do work from home, which we'll see. Like I said, it's been a really big change since being a parent and how I've worked. Before I just worked the same as her, a 9 to 5 type of job, and everything's totally different now. It's an interesting transition. It's hard, but it's different.
Right. So she's shifted towards night work and I've shifted towards day work.
Yeah, and if anything, she should be the one working at night because she works better at night than I do, but her job doesn't allow it. But it's just funny because I'm doing the night work and you're not a morning person. It really should be the opposites of our personalities, but I would love to work during the morning and that's it, maybe like 4 to 8 or something, and then be done for the day. But her job doesn't allow putting off work until that time, until 9 o'clock, so whatever. It's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay, well, I think that is all for the questions for today. I know we didn't do a ton, but maybe we can answer some more later. If you have any other parenting related questions, leave them as a comment below. We'll try to answer them as much as possible, or send me a message on Instagram or Twitter or something. She usually runs the Twitter mostly. I do some now, but I'm a really lousy Twitter person. Send me on Instagram. I'll answer there better. Or Facebook. You know, That's good too. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!